All right, page 57. So, using the pattern you discovered in the previous activity, what statement can you make about the relationship among a squared, b squared, and c squared? So, last page we discovered that the sum of the squares of the two shorter sides is equal to the square of the longest side. Okay, so we figured that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So, that was the pattern that we discovered, and we can make this statement from that. And consider the relative lengths of the sides of a triangle. So which side length must be the longest, A, B, or C? So it will be C, which is the longest. The longest side is always the opposite of the greatest angle. So notice how this is the right angle, which is 90 degrees. And this, if it's a right triangle, 90 degree angle would be the largest, the biggest. So it'll be the longest side is always the opposite of the greatest angle. So C must be the longest side. Describe the relationship between the side lengths of any triangle. So side lengths of any triangle, the sum of the two shortest sides, so in this case it would be this A and B, is always greater than the longest side. So when you add these two up, you'll get a greater sum than just the C by itself. Okay. The side opposite the right angle in a right triangle is called the hypotenuse. So we figure that this one is the opposite side length from the greatest angle. So C is called the hypotenuse. The other two sides are called legs of the right triangle. So leg and leg, and this is hypotenuse. So in the figure, the sides with lengths A and B are legs, and the side with length C is the hypotenuse. So label the legs and hypotenuse in the right triangle shown. So in this one, we figured that A and B, those two are the legs of a right triangle, and this, the longest side, is the hypotenuse. Okay. This special relationship that exists between the squares of the lengths of the sides of a right triangle is known as the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem states the sum of the square of the lengths of the legs of a right triangle equals the square of the length of the hypotenuse. So remember this one, this statement that we figured out, this is called the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. We will be using this a lot, so you should know that this is a Pythagorean theorem. Okay, and that the sum of the two legs squared is equal to this hypotenuse squared. Okay, so this statement you should know.